What is up, everybody? This is Tikoi, also known as Richard, coming to you with another game of the French. This is going to be a mirror matchup, just to give you an idea of what it is like when you try and push through a strategy like the cavalry archer rush, which is very strong in the feudal age as the French, getting countered as the French, and basically showing you, if you get your time frame wrong, what you can expect to happen, and also what would be the best strategy against your mirror opponent if you have to play the French. A couple of points to note that Berbatov here, he's a bit of a new player. He even said it in the start, so I did give him a link to the channel, told him that if he wants to learn a little bit more of the French, he can come check it out. I am not a pro player. I checked my rankings today. I was like 3,600 and something. So there's no pro level skill here, but there is practice, there is training, and maybe from an intermediate perspective, a little bit more information on what exactly is going on in the game, so you can understand what's happening, why things are playing out in a certain way, why you might be losing as the French, even though everybody says they're an easy faction. So let's hop into this replay, show you a little bit of the King of the Hill map. I personally find this map very difficult. So many areas to block off if you're playing against a late game China or you know, like a Mongol tower rush. It is a very difficult map in my opinion, but this was quite nice as a French mirror matchup to see what happens. So as you can see from the start, 6 villagers here on the first sheep, getting the scout. Remember, I control 1 the scout and control 2 the town center. What I did make a mistake here, you'll see I'll remove the villager shortly. I built the first villager, and then I think after the second villager I drop out to actually make a second scout. I found that the second scout, if you want to rush as the French, does mean a lot. The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to invest all my early resources. Like if you look here, I'm just going to reveal the map for you here. The closest hunt is all the way here, and I'll show you even from my perspective, right? There's no additional food close by. I have berries, but that's even outside my town center's ring, so it's unprotected, very easily to raid that. But what I'm doing right now is I'm getting the first scout out, I'm getting the second scout out very late. I think, yeah, still no second scouts. I can't remember when I trained the second scout, but at some point I realized like I actually want a second scout, and I didn't. Yeah, there we go. There I dropped the villagers, and that's only 1 minute 26 in, if you look here in the top corner. So I'm in front of his base. You can see he has a double house for some reason. But like I said, he is pretty new. He's doing long distance wood farming, probably because he mismanaged his wood at the start, so he couldn't get the gold mine, so now he has to rely on other forms of wood to get that wood supply up. But the main thing you want to try and do is starve your enemy of resources, or force them to reinvest their resources into spearmen or archers or something that might be able to counter you. But once you have your first ram or 2 up, it's going to get very difficult for the enemy. So the second scout was really a good call, because I found these 2 close by sheep. I brought them back and I had only a single carcass left. So I got the 2 extra sheep in there so I don't run out of food. So all these extra sheep, 6 sheep coming back, 7 sheep actually, was just to make sure that I don't run out of food. He is scouting. He's playing really well for a new player. I must give him credit for that, because I didn't think he was gonna defend that well. Here I reach the Feudal Age, and he actually rushes it before me. I was quite impressed that he got the second age before me, but I think he pulled all his villagers. We'll see now what he does. So on the resources, let's check the current resources. He is almost at the food. I'm already building mine, but you can see he's almost at the food value. There we go. He can reach second age, and I think he's going to pull all his villagers because he did reach it before I did. Let's just see. Yeah, you see all of his villagers onto the landmark. He also has a lack of food, so we are picking up sheep all over the map because we have the double scout. You can see there we have an additional 3 coming back with 7 here, and I'm dropping them off, moving them as close as possible. We still have 6 villagers on food, only 4 villagers on the landmark, and on his side he has a very aggressive 11 villagers on the landmark. But the problem with that is there's no villagers being trained. He doesn't have enough villagers for the food, so this is a bad call with any age because you technically have idle villagers to get the landmark up, but once the landmark is up, if there is no immediate value of having that landmark up, I mean, he cannot train units, he cannot train villagers, so for a good minute and a half, these villagers were idle. Even if he just dropped off the food at the town center before starting to build that, he would have had technically close to 80 food and another villager that was on food in that time that this was being built. While you can see on my side, a bit of an idle villager issue here, micromanaging, because I was dealing with my scouts trying to find out exactly what he was doing. You can see there's the scout going for sheep there, second scout right here with a lot of sheep. So I have the food advantage. That's a fact right now. So I want to see, and this was quite nice because he built it in the front of his base, and at this point I was kind of confused because I heard the landmark go off. So I know he made the second landmark, and I expected it to be the School of Cavalry. There I do see the School of Cavalry, but very close here, and this is a very bad scenario. So he has, I want to show you guys this just for the future. That is 10 villagers that is standing there causing idle time. We have 0 idle villagers on our side, but those villagers now have to build a mill and only then start producing a secondary food source, which is on berries. And there's a much lower food per minute when you're on berries. You can see it's only 192, 172 more or less with the villagers on food, whereas if you go to my perspective, with the same, we have 9 villagers, but we're getting 390 food per minute, just because it's a better source of food. His villagers, it is like that. Berries give you less food per minute than sheep, and the best source of food is obviously, oh, I didn't even see these 2 sheep. Always check the back of your base for sheep, guys. Check those 2 that I missed there. But let's just go back to my perspective here. You know, you want to make sure you have enough sheep. If you do not have sheep, you want to move over to a hunt. So I did find this hunt in the front here. I see that he was training some cavalry, so even for a delayed start, even for a French player that didn't have perfect food, that didn't have the right macroing, meaning 3 villagers on gold, 6, then 9 villagers on food, and then progressing on the 10th villager into your landmark and then wood. You see, there we have heavy wood because we are pushing this strategy. So as a scout on his side, if he saw this, he knew I was going to play aggressive. Because why would I, as a French player, have 11 villagers on wood if I had planned to play for Castle Age? So there's 100% guarantee that if you scout me out as an enemy player right now, right? And let's say your scout's coming on the side here, and you find that there's a heavy emphasis on the wood, and you don't see any forward food. Obviously, you can get close enough to see the sheep, so you would probably scout out the army. But how do you counter that? You know, because you have to counter archers probably with archers and try and have spearmen for your cavalry. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll show you how good he actually, as a very new player to Age of Empire, defends this. And I had to really micromanage my army so much just to get him to, not obliterate my army and then end up losing all of these resources. Because we have 8 archers right now. I was going for 10 archers and 4 cavalry. You can see that's almost as perfect as you're going to get it right now. So I'm not pushing for a castle age. If you're going for castle age, by the 8-minute mark, you must already be starting to produce that building. So that means 3 to 5 villagers on your gold, the rest on food, and then some form of upgrading or defense happening to get you into that castle age, because it is quite dangerous to go into castle age without units. I would say this is actually a very safe strategy. Even if I didn't want to rush here, this was very strong to attack any counter from the enemy, because if they don't come forward with mass archers or a mirror army of this, it would be very difficult to take on this army in the Feudal Age for any faction. So I have the forward scout here, I have the second scout here, because I did not know if he was going to move his army or if there was any additional buildings. I did not see the spearmen being trained, but as a start, I know that the units is this side. I want to be as far away as possible from that. So I do bring my army through the left side here, because I did see the forward gold. So my focus is on the gold, and you'll see I'll actually wait before I start attacking, because of that sound you hear when someone attacks you. I get as close as possible. So my archers actually is part of the attacks, so I guarantee 1 or 2 of those first kills. See, we get the charge off, get the second kill, get the third kill. So that's 3 villagers down. That's very perfect. You can back off even here, and the scout's taking the damage. So my army is still in a very, very healthy state. I do spot, luckily, the wood line out here. So in this scenario, I'm just going to ask the question: what is the best point or decision to make right now? It's a mirror matchup. I have 10 archers. He has 2 cavalry with a normal horseman. So this is royal knights and 1 horseman. With some spear and a town center. They are almost in the range of this town center. Would you rather attack the villagers, or would you rather turn on the army? The reason being, your goal right now, is it just to kill villagers, or is it to end the game? And in this case, it was actually to end the game, not just villagers. So we had to micro the cavalry onto the villagers, and we are just kiting with the archers, attack moving as we move backwards with them to reset that auto attack. And now we're using the cavalry as a defense and picking them off with the archers, because you don't have to fight that. If you're not changing targets or microing your army, this is all free damage, because he's chasing down this cavalry. And all I'm doing, I'm just cutting away, trying to keep this cavalry alive. And now we started with 4 cavalry and 10 archers. We lost 1 archer versus 2 royal knights or horsemen and 4 spear. So you can already see how much better the resources was spent in this time frame, where we trained efficiently in the early game. We planned the rush because we had information with our scouts. We have a sheep advantage, even if you look back at the base, and that's why the key bindings is so important. I have my town center on 2. I have my School of Cavalry plus both archer ranges on control 7. So if I press 7, I like having it a bit further, so you actually have to think about your army while you're busy if you have to go back. The idle villagers is a skill thing that I need to get better at, to jump between the base and the army without losing too much resources, because if I just keep playing here, you'll see I started losing units because I'm trying to find more villagers, trying to find information on where to utilize this resources. So these villagers, I do see them. I do try and get 1 or 2 down. He moves them in the wrong direction. I didn't see the spearmen, so I'm looking away right now. You see, I lose the first cavalry, I'm gonna lose the second cavalry, and these archers are just idle. So that's bad management again from my side. So this win right here that we had with the first fight, now we're negligent with that, because we have these archers here waiting for an upgrade, which is the siege engineering, which I only start doing now. So I could have delayed this at least another minute to get that siege engineering, but now I'm just using the archers to be annoying, to pick off what I can, to utilize my resources here, and at the same time I'm double tapping 2 to go to the back of the base, training some more villagers, getting some more archers out, getting some more royal knights out, so just replenish my army. So if I had to lose this, if he had to go, you know, heavy horsemen, in this scenario royal knights is not the right choice. You want to go into the horsemen because you know it's just archers. The horsemen would do, you see high movement speed, weak versus melee units, but very strong against the archers. If you had to train 5 or 6 horsemen, which will train faster than the royal knights, that would have been able to counter these archers, because it's only 7 archers. 4 horsemen would be able to really do damage against these archers. So he's in a very difficult situation. He's trying to train up units, but all of these villagers are idle. 17 idle villagers on his side, because he's not sure where to use them. So now he has to use them on wood, or his food is finished. So think about it, like on our side we have the gold, we have the wood. I moved to a safer wood at the back. We still haven't invested into any farms. I see my food is starting to run low because the sheep are finished. I'm already building a second mill. So you are thinking ahead, and all you need to do to get to this point is just practice. But from a very new player perspective, the way he tried to defend this with spearmen against the cavalry, with the royal knights, was really good. Even here, a few villagers on this town center. This one single ram won't be able to destroy this town center by itself. So the choice on his side to actually attack my... Look at 2 royal knights against 7 archers, and they are just wreaking havoc on these archers. This is resources lost on my side. So if you have the wrong units, you really won't make a difference. And they heal over time, so they are getting their health back. Now, this is also a bad call on my side. You see another 7 archers here, just same issue. They're just going to get picked off by these royal knights. And if I had a few spearmen, you know, I had more than enough resources to train a barracks and send some spearmen with to counter these royal knights. But this extra horsemen, the spearmen, the archers, I'm just trying to get rid of this single cavalry, while the ram is you know, distracting the enemy, because he knows as soon as those villagers comes out, I'm gonna start using the archers to pick off villagers, and it's a very difficult situation for him. So this royal knight cannot go alone against the 5 archers. They will kill him. I think we did get the... Oh, we will get the upgrades very shortly. But again, we have a second army already ready to go. Now we go into market, double houses, getting our stabilization back in our base, making sure everything is optimal and all the production buildings are moving. You know, we have the food that's being farmed here. You can see 18 villagers is 390 food, whereas we had on the sheep earlier, it was 9 villagers with 390 food per minute. You can see now it's 520 because they're actually starting to drop off, and we're getting the wheelbarrow upgrade, so it will increase. But you can see the difference between berries and sheep, and having that sheep lead, having the army consistently training. Again, 3 knights, royal knights, 14 archers here, so a lot of resources again being invested and not going to the castle age. And he's in a difficult situation. He has to long haul wood. He has some gold, training what he can to counter this, but at this point in stage it's almost GG. I'm getting a second ram up. I don't think that's in his line of sight. Yeah, you can see it's outside his line of sight, so he does expect himself to be safe. He does know he didn't kill the archers, but from my perspective, you know, we're just outside our line of sight, getting the rams up because we want to finish this game. So we're bringing in the second army here with the intention of drawing. I don't know what units he have right now. I don't know how much resources he had, so I'm playing it safe by bringing this army down, trying to pull any threat or any units to force them to come my way, so we can fight that while these archers are safe to produce the rams, the battering rams. So there we see single knight. That was 14 archers that shot at the royal knight, and he still managed to survive. The royal knights are so strong, guys. You, don't sleep on this as the French. This army composition with the royal knights and the archers. If you have a lot of spearmen to pick off the cavalry, but if you micromanage your army properly, you will be able to get away with so much. Even with the town center firing at this one royal knight, we are just, you know, trying to cause damage, being very annoying. I think at this point, you know, he was, I don't want to use the word annoyed, but it is very frustrating when you're playing against a French player, because you just saw this army, now you see 3 rams and more archers, so it's just this continuous raid of units trying to pick you off. There we go, the archers do get the royal knight, but now he's basically out of resources. He has 16 idle villagers sitting in the town center, but because it's a ram, they have 30 armor versus ranged, so you have to siege it with cavalry or melee infantry. And we have another ram here at the back, you know, just taking advantage from all angles, and there's no way you're getting back from this. You know, in the mirror matchup, making sure you manage your own resources very well and choosing the strategy very early. You can see I still have idle villagers. I still have the heavy wood. I moved those villagers up to the deer, huntable deer, excuse me. But yeah, I moved them up to there. He did say GG. I did give him a thumbs up for the way he played here, because the army composition and the spearmen he had early was really good, but because we harassed that early production lines on his side, we did get a lead because he had to go away from a very exposed wood line. He should have rather gone for this one, which was safer, or just wall down. If you feel like you are not safe, wall off this area, then you know the attack must come from the front. You can even go as far as walling from the front here to the side, and we destroyed the second landmark, and that's GG. But that was a nice little mirror matchup. You know, really impressed with this player on his approach as a new French player. The right strategy to train the spearmen. But if you have that archers in the second age with the cavalry, I'm just saying good luck. It is a really strong composition right now, and if you're sleeping on it, that was a really nice demonstration of how you can use that. But thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a like and subscribe. We are trying to, you know, learn and grow together, build a community here. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And I'm still learning how to edit. I'm still learning how to, you know, build a YouTube channel, and it's really exciting for me, and I think there's a lot of potential in the game. The rank season is also starting now on the 22nd, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please come back to watch some more videos and leave a like and subscribe. Have a nice day.